Hey everybody, happy Friday. I am way overdue on a video update, so I do apologize for that. One thing I was really nervous about when I decided to start making the videos was knowing myself and knowing that when I fall into like a little depression episode, that I can kind of really go MIA. And so I was nervous about making videos because I knew inevitably that was going to happen, and I knew I probably realistically wasn't going to make videos during that time. And basically that's what happened, is I fell into a little bit of a depression episode. And so yeah, so probably about, I don't know, it was probably about a little two week episode. So today I just want to kind of give an update where I'm at and really talk about that. So that is one of my big pushes in kind of going into these changes, is really trying to work on the depression and minimizing it. In the past, the more that I exercise, the less depression that I have. So I think what happened is recently I came off of antidepressants. I was on them for probably about the past year, and I wanted to come off of them. I really don't like taking any sort of medication. Sometimes I need it, and it can be helpful for a lot of people, but overall I'm not someone that really trusts big pharma or anything like that. So I want to be on medication as little as possible, but I do need it occasionally to get past some humps. So I recently came off of it, and I'm focusing and heavily relying on exercise to help with that, or to be my antidepressant, so to speak. And so I need to, just kind of learning from this past couple weeks, is I need to make sure that I wouldn't skip exercise the same way that I wouldn't skip taking a pill when I was on them, so to speak. You do have to have rest days. Like, it is not good to exercise 7 days a week. Rest is incredibly important, but you can also do active recovery. So those are the days like the walks come in great. So for me, what I've noticed is like 1 day off is okay, but I definitely shouldn't do like 2 days back to back. And I can have 2 days throughout the week, but it's the back to back, when they start stacking onto each other, the less I exercise, just immediately you see that mood drop. So just keeping that in the back of my mind as, you know, as I move on, because inevitably it's going to happen again. And, I have to try and be quicker to call myself on it and quicker to get moving, because it really can sometimes almost instantly pull me out of it, or at least make me feel better that day. And then if I repeat it again the next day, like the more I exercise, the quicker I'm going to come out of it, and the shorter that it's going to be. So, and that is one reason why I am so big on exercise. So several years ago, before fitness became came into my life, those couple of days, or like I've got it now down to where, like, when I do have depressive episodes, they're usually like a week or two, but back then, like, that was life. And I can't even imagine it. Like, it sucks when I'm in them. And so to think that that's like how just how regular like life felt back then, it makes me so grateful for exercise, because it just has made all the difference in my life. So if you are somebody that struggles from depression, I can't speak highly enough about exercise. And it's hard because it can be the last thing that you want to do or think that you want to do, and it's going to take some practice and just getting into it. But man, it just makes all the difference in the world. So I hit that little depression episode. And for me, sometimes what happens with depression, or really kind of the sucky thing about it, is it doesn't mean that anything is going wrong in your life. I can literally have everything be like going well and have zero things that I'm upset about or stressed about. And it doesn't matter. That's not how depression works. I can just wake up one day and be in that little depression funk. And it kind of sucks, especially when you're like, I don't even, like, there's not even anything wrong. That really, to me, does go to show how it is like more of a disease, because it's not just like, oh, I'm sad, and because I'm sad I'm being mopey and lazy or anything like that. Like, no, all can be well, and you wake up one day and hello, depression. So so anyway, for me, when it happens, I definitely often fall into like little bits of paralysis, kind of, so to speak. Like, I just cannot make myself do anything. I cannot make myself function. Sometimes it feels hard to just exist, and not in like a suicidal way, like just literally like just being here and being a body and existing feels like hard work. On certain days, there's days that like just walking can feel like so challenging, like just getting up to like walk to the bathroom, like your body can feel heavy. And I can get brain fog really bad, and that can really mess with me and make it hard to function. And then it turns into like a vicious cycle. Like, you have a couple days where you're feeling kind of worthless because you kind of had that depression paralysis, and then you start beating yourself up because you're like, God, I feel so broken, or I do feel worthless, or I feel like it just turns into a vicious cycle, and then it's really hard to come out of it. And so this one got me pretty good, actually. I definitely had a hard few days, and then because I stopped doing my walks and I didn't exercise for honestly probably like a week, that's why it just got worse and worse and worse. And then I was finally able to make myself go, I think for a walk was the first thing that I did, and I switched what I was listening to. So I'd been talking about the More Than a Body podcast, or not podcast, but audio book that I was listening to, and that's not what I needed at that time. So I went and I just started looking for some like depression type podcast things that maybe talk about, there was one that had just like some tips for coming out of a depression episode, and I haven't found anything like super great, like a couple little short ones that, I mean, were nice. It's just where I was at more, and that's more what I needed to hear, was like talking about talking about depression and different tips for getting out of it. And it's actually got me a little bit more intrigued, because I've never looked for that kind of like podcast or audiobook or anything. So I'm going to continue looking for that, because that was definitely helpful. Even still, like the past couple of days I've been feeling quite a bit better, but even still, when I've gone for a run, I'm still wanting to listen to more of that over the More Than a Body book that I've been listening to. So I'll probably go back and forth depending on my mood, but that's just kind of what I felt like I needed more than anything at the time. So yeah, anyway, I've gotten back to where I'm doing some exercise. I've done 2 days so far. I'm working on a Couch to 5K app, so it just kind of like slowly works you into running, so you can work up to running a 5K, hopefully. Not hopefully, up to running a 5K. So I'm working on that. My feet really give me issues a lot, and so I haven't ran in a long time, and my feet are definitely not appreciating it in the moment, but fortunately they're feeling good afterwards, so I think that's a good sign. So that's been cool, something to start like just kind of working on and focusing on. It's a little bit different. As far as like nutrition, I haven't been focusing on it at all. I haven't been doing terrible, but I just haven't been focusing on it. So I definitely need to get back to that. As far as my weight's concerned, I'm basically back to where I started. I'm going to do a little video later on and talk about like how much to weigh yourself, but, you can see like I have my little graph that it just kind of goes up, down, up, down, up, down. So since I've started, which has been, I think, a little over a month now, that's just what you've seen with the weight, is that it's just kind of going up and down, up and down. So, definitely not super thrilled, but overall I haven't gained, in comparison to where I started, so that's great. I'm going to do some pictures, because the scale is not always accurate representation, so I'm kind of anxious to see if maybe I'll see a little bit more in the pictures, maybe not. And then yeah, just kind of getting back to it. I'm not gonna say fell off, but I had that depression struggle, and it's not gonna be the last time it happens for me, but I do know, and I've done this before, so I know that as I just continue to move on with exercise and pushing this, that like those episodes are going to become less and less, and maybe it goes from being like a week or two to switching to being a couple days, and I'm looking forward to that happening. So yeah, so sorry for being MIA. Hopefully we'll start getting back on track here and giving some of the video updates and everything like that, but that is the reality of depression. And so I'm not upset, I'm not beating myself up, it just is what it is, and now we're back to it. All right, you guys, we will talk soon.